Hi all, welcome back to more of The Other Side of the Hill solo. This is my part 12. Um, yeah, another day or two, just a day or two going by. No, it's just a day actually, I didn't get a bit yesterday. Got a little bit of time at the moment, but probably not much. Going to maybe get half a part done here. Okay, well, if we push on, you never know. Just one comment to talk about from Carlos. I left the question in the video there about the ports. Does it say in the rules that these become control? Are these German controlled? Now, I don't know if when you first place one of the port markers. Let me see what it says there actually. Right, so I think I'm looking at page 13 here, and it's under 3.3.1 diplomacy cards. When you play that, and when activating a country as a satellite, yeah, because this was activated through the Italy, wasn't it? Now, activating Italy, does it maybe have something specific in activating Italy, but 3.4.1 is about activating countries. Right, I know Italy have got their own bit. Have they not? Italy and France not got their own bit. Oh, I don't want to go. I didn't want to go all through this. It talks in step 6 there, when activating a country as a satellite, follow these steps. In step 6 of that, it says, if an area belonging to the activated country is a port box, place an open port marker in the port box and a naval supply marker in its army's box. Fair enough. And then you've got to believe that would then be controlled by us. I suppose, yeah. I think it's just when you're checking this, it talks about the control of it. However, Carlos has replied here. He says, as regards the control of ports, if you look at the advanced rules, it does not say that port markers are affected when an area becomes disputed. So, yeah. So this area became disputed. We must have been. Did they move into Tobruk, or did they land? No, they didn't land in Tobruk. Did they come from there? Yeah, they came from Egypt and attacked across. Did they? I think that's what happened. Anyway, like he says, there's no rule that says that this now doesn't become not German control. To be honest, I suppose the bit that gets me, and I'm pretty sure I'm being a bit picky here, is that if we control this area, then we sure we control that port. So yeah, fair enough. I get that. Then when it becomes disputed, then there's nothing to say that this changes. However, he does carry on that. It does not say that port markers are affected when an area becomes disputed, so they are still functional as long as you have a disk in the area, as opposed to resource control, which is lost as soon as it becomes disputed. Yeah, so, and that is pointed out in the rules. Where are we? Where's an example somewhere? Yeah, well, we've got Romania, Bulgaria here, which gives us a resource. Now, if this becomes disputed, we're still going to have a black. We would get knocked back to there, and the Allies are in there, or the Soviets are in there. Then we automatically lose that resource. But it states that in the rules, whereas it doesn't state that this becomes not controlled anymore. So, fair enough. He says, I could have made that explicit also in the supply rules, but there is only so much repetition a rulebook can admit before it becomes redundant and tedious to read. It is tricky to find the right balance between making it difficult to find an answer because it is only in one place and repeating too much. Yeah, I do understand and appreciate that. It must be hard to put these rulebooks together. Like I said, I was maybe saying that the rules could be set out better in places than that in this rulebook, and then I also admitted that if you handed the rulebook to me and said, right, you go and sort it out, then I'd be like, no thanks, I don't know where to start. So I do appreciate that. And that's a good explanation. There's nothing to say that this is not become not German controlled anymore. I suppose my thinking was it was just a port, but when the Axis are the only ones in that area, then they clearly control that. When the Allies move into there to dispute the area, there's nothing to say that that suddenly becomes not the Axis port. Now, if they get knocked out, if they get pushed back and knocked out of the area, it's no longer Axis controlled, but it doesn't really matter anymore, because the Allies don't need to check for supply and things like that anyway. Okay, thanks for that explanation, Carlos. Right, let's move on quickly, and I'll try and get a bit in. Where are we? We're in the Western Offensive phase. Yes, we are indeed. So Western Offensive, again, we're still not in 1942, so there's no landings to do, and we're going to place combat pawns for the Western faction in any areas that contain a disputed mark on a Western control disk. Well, the area we're looking at has one. Disputed mark of Western control disk. I want to say that might be the only one now, isn't it? Because we've taken care of France and Belgium and Holland. So that is that for the only one that's disputed. No. Right, what happened? Turkey, of course. Yeah, we just went into Turkey. So this is another one. Now, hold on here, Grant. Did I gain this? No, I haven't done that. No, we've not got there yet. I've not gained that resource yet. I hope I haven't taken that. Because I don't actually control this area yet, control Turkey. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen come the military directive. Well, unless they were to knock us back, but we're probably not going to let that happen. Yeah, I've realised we've only got the 2 armies in there as well, because we had to leave one behind, but, well, we had no choice there, did we? And I'm assuming you can only attack from one area. It's not that we could have used that army in Bulgaria as well. Yeah, I don't think I've read anything about that. I don't think I took that resource. Oh, what was the mistake? Yeah, I put it down in the comments. Yeah, we should have left I think this is an easy mistake to make. I think I've done it already, or almost done it. I've moved, when I'm attacking from Greece into Turkey, and I'm advancing into Turkey, I've used the control disk from there and move it into Istanbul. Well, that's not what you should do. That should stay in Athens, and then you should get another counter to move it into Istanbul, and then we use that to advance in the area. Yeah, so I left a comment in the header about that. That was insane. I would fix that. Right, so that's 2 areas that are disputed with Western control disks, and the other way of an ally combat pawn going on is the Axis control, an area that is Axis controlled and adjacent to a Western controlled area. And I want to, oh no, because Great Britain's not adjacent, so no. I don't think there is going to be any there, is there? I mean, this is Western controlled, but no, we've already dealt with that one because it's disputed anyway. Axis controlled and adjacent to Western controlled. No, there's none. I don't believe. No, right, okay, so it's just these 2. So let's move on. Yeah, so we're going to resolve land combat. Right, we just determine the order of these. Now, I think we had got this to 5, and unfortunately it's not back down to 4, so there's no extra dice involved here anyway. I'm not sure it really matters what one we do first. Well, let's do this one first then. Yeah. No, I don't think there's been a combat there, because I'm just realising we're not getting any generals here at all, are we? There's no German army there, so clearly there's no EG head, and because there's not even one German army, there's no going to be a leading general. But I don't think we've had a combat, we've just drawn up. Now remember, we're still in 1940, and it seems that the majority of them don't make an attack in 1940. Right, but let's check this one first then. So I'm going to draw a combat card. We're looking for 1940. And you can see there's nothing at all there. It's probably the one we wanted for the one down in Libya. But mind you, I don't want to mess with this. I want to make sure everything goes smooth there. So no attack. We don't need to. There's no special event. That just gets discarded. That pawn goes away. Nothing doing. We don't pick generals or anything like that. Okay, that's that one done. And then for this one, same again. I'm going to draw a combat card. And this one, yeah, you can see no attack, but we're going to draw right, now we're going to get caught, aren't we? Yeah, well, I did say that I thought this was going to happen. I thought we might have got away with it, but the fact that the Western allies are going to... Although that was the last chance of them doing it, wasn't it? And, yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's draw a strategic event, and we know there's only one strategic event left, and it's this, and we've been able to keep putting it down the bottom. However, now our fanaticism value is at 2, as you can see, and this says GraphSpay, if the fanaticism value is lower than 2, we drop it down the bottom of the deck. Well, it's not lower than 2 anymore, so I'm going to roll a Western die. If the result is the plane or the hit icon, unrest value +1. Right, it's maybe not too major that though, is it? I mean, we don't want our unrest going up. Unrest goes up means that our fanaticism is going to go down eventually, so we don't want it going up. So I'm rolling just one blue dice, wasn't it? Roll one Western die if the result is the airplane or the hat, so it's probably likely. Yeah, we get the airplane, so unrest does go up. Now, unrest is there, and that goes up to 1. Now, when that reaches 3, I think when it automatically reaches 3, that drops down, and then that resets to 0. But I'll double check that as well, because it could be that it gets to 3, and then if unrest goes up again, then that's when it drops. But I think it's what I said the first time, and I'll double check that when the time comes. Okay, so that was this event finally done and can be discarded. It's a strategic event, goes in that pile, discarded, not to be seen again, so fair enough. So no strategic events left, and well, no combat here, so that goes away, so not terrible. And that was that combat card done as well, right? Okay, so no combats in the Western offensive phase. Soviet offensive still not in the game yet. Military directives objective check, right? So we've got our military directive, which was the invasion of Turkey. So, have all the objectives been achieved? Well, we were to take Adana, which we have done. So, yes. So, Turkey is occupied, so 4.7.1a. There's not an increase in fanaticism on this one, I can see. So, we're just going to get Turkey occupied as our success. 4.7.1a. Let me just scroll to that bit. So yeah, it's just there's no other effects, is there? No fanaticism, no air naval control moving, is it? No, it's just a straight up the occupation. So what we do is remove the Allied control disk. Right, so I'm just going to read this. Remove the Allied control disk and the alignment marker in the area. So they go away. And move the Axis control disk in the area to highest numbered sector. So it goes into Erzurum. Don't think I've heard of that before. The highest number sector, place the occupied alignment marker in the area's alignment box if not already there. It wasn't already there, so now it is. And then if the area has a resource symbol, add 1 to the resources value in its track if it was not added previously. I'm pretty sure I didn't add it. You start at 8, don't you? You start at 8. We gained 1 for Northern France, that's 9. I'm sitting at 12 though. So where did I get the other ones? Let's just see if we can. Thing is there not a card? Is there not an event that bumps it up? I don't think I've seen that yet though. I think I'm just thinking about watching other videos. So the ones that are the ones that the Festung ones they're counted at the beginning. They're one of the 8 that you start with. But here's one here. We took Romania, Bulgaria, so that's 1. And then there's Northern France, that's another 1. Oh, and we've got Denmark and Norway, so that's another 1. So that's 3 that we've added. I'm not going to count this just yet. So that's 3 that we've added from the 8. That's 11, and I'm sitting at 12. I wonder if I did add this then. Was there some... I'm going to look through the events. Hang on a second. Yeah, I feel like I must have cheated here then. Because, well, is it 8 you start with, Grant? I'm pretty sure it was 8. Because was it not 1 in each box and 2 in consumer goods? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is 8. Does it not tell us on this chart? 1939, resource track 8. Yeah, it is. And I can only see 3 that I've moved up. That takes me to 11, and I'm showing up at 12. I've got... No, I'm not counting Turkey yet. So what have I done? Did I increase that? Well, what I need to do is look back to the video footage of this happening. Now, would this have happened... This would have happened quite recently, wouldn't it? So it would have just been in the last part, I believe. So I think we could get away with this because I've not done anything with my production, have I? Because this would have been the Axis offensive phase, which is only a couple of phases ago anyway. So it would just be in the last part, which I've uploaded and not noticed. So, certainly nobody said anything either. Right, let me go and have a look at that first. Right, I'm baffled. When I took the last rows to get me from 11 to 12 was when we resolved the takeover of France. So I'm not sure how I'm sitting on 12 instead of 11, but nobody said anything. I mean, what's the other way you can gain a resource? I've looked through the events. It doesn't look like there's anything in the events. Oh, hang on. Did I look at the productive cards? No, I did not. There was one set of cards I didn't look at. The production directives. I bet there's something in there. No. Yes, here it is. Self-responsibility of industry. The prerequisite, the fanaticism values 2 or higher. We played this way back at the beginning, didn't we? And not fanaticism down by 1 and our resources up by 1, right? Okay, we found it. So, it is indeed correct, sitting at 12. Yeah, somebody would have pulled me up anyway if I'd moved that up, surely. So, now I'm going to gain that point, yeah, for taking Turkey. So that's going to go up to 13 now. And I feel okay about that now, because I wasn't finding that. That's strange. I looked through all the event cards, the political directives and the military directives, and didn't look at the production directives that had been played. So there you go. That was a bit daft. Right. Okay, I think that's it. And this card's now done. Is that all that we've done? Political directive. Military directive. All objectives were achieved. Apply the effects and discard the card. Yeah, I think that's it. I was looking for the... Oh, military directive comes first, Grant. Doesn't it? Does it? Military directive segment. Oh no, it's military directives objective check, which comes after the Soviet offensive, yeah. Axis offensive, Western offensive, Soviet offensive. Military directives objective check, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. We've followed it on the card. That's all you need to do. All we needed to do was Turkey occupied, and we've carried out that, moved the disc, done all that. Yeah, gained a resource. Right, this card's done. It's another military directive successfully done. Supply check. Well, we can go into this again. Again, everything's all connected up in the middle here, fine. All connected back to a Fistung area, sector. So, no problems there. Yeah, and then obviously the only one is this still. So, roll 1d6 for each axis controlled area with a port box. So, this time we do have this at 4. I think, let's say we had it at 5, but they knocked it back 1. So that's at 4, and then we've got the +1 for Crete 5. So we only need a 7. So this time we only need that 2. I'm wanting to say we've rolled the 2 twice, and we needed a 3 or greater. So 4 for the Southern Front, air naval control, +1 for the Crete. We don't know control Egypt, and Southern Italy is Axis controlled, so that's okay. So there's no -4 for that. So yeah, we've got a +5 to this, and we need a 7. So we just need a 2. Oh, that was typical. That was an app. Right. Okay. That's annoying because we're now going into 1941, and this is going to get attacked, isn't it? That's rather unlucky. All we needed was a 2. Or, I mean, if that stayed at 5, it was guaranteed then, wasn't it? But, well, no. If Grant. Right, okay, that's only... So that port stays closed, and we're still isolated and can't do anything in that area. The victory check, there's not going to be anything. So now we are going to... it's going to be New Year, isn't it? So yeah, that's just finished the fall operations. So we're now moving into 1941. Yeah, and just overnight there, I was thinking to myself, I mean, you have said that this is when the attack on the Soviet Union happened, Grant, in 1941. I know we're going to start in the winter. My guess would be that the attack on the Barbarossa started in summer of 1941. It might have been spring though. And although we're just moving into the winter in 1941, we're not in any way set up to do anything there, are we? But so yeah, I definitely think for sure now is I do need to start moving these armies back. That's what happened, wasn't it? And they just left. We know that, we're going to follow how history went, and eventually these are going to get the chance to land, but we know that's not going to happen until 42. So 41 is now our moment to come across here, and we've not really set anything up as of yet, but however. Okay, so 1941, so this comes away back to... it's a New Year phase. Actually, I don't think that moves just yet, going in the sequence of things. This will move back to there eventually. And I think that just stays there for the moment. We're on the New Year phase. So, I can go into that. Now, let's just push on 24 minutes. Yeah, I could try and... I'm going to stick with it now. I might get dragged away. I might just have to stop. Alright, the first step in the New Year phase is advance a year marker. Okay, so that's the first step. So we are in 1941 now. And move the turn marker to the New Year box, which we've done. Yeah, okay. Right, and then... Okay, so this is the process. There's quite a few things to do here. So move all general cards from the activated space to the available space in each player's board. So these are then command generals. They don't move. These were activated. So these are all going to move into available. But what I'm going to do is put them in seniority order. Okay. And we've got the answer to our question about the 30 generals, so that's good as well, because now I'd be like, right, how did I decide here? Well, to be honest, there might not be more than 30. So I've moved them activated into available. They're all in senior order. And then we return our unplayed directive cards that were selected for the current year to their respective decks. Well, I've got 2 diplomacy cards out there that I didn't play, 1 military directive and 1 production directive, so they're going to go back into these decks and be available for selection in this new year. Right, so I'll put them all back. To be honest, I've got them turned up that way, but they're all in a sequence, so they're all in an order. So the next step is review all cards remaining in the event deck from the previous year and resolve any the recurrent events and all mandatory unique events. Right, well, we are going to have to do that. There's no strategic events left, but we do have some combat events. So we're going to have to flip these. So we're looking for any recurring events or any unique events that were in blue. So this one's not got any recurring events. It's not got a unique event. I'm just glancing at it there. Capture battle plans. -1 hit for the Axis combat roll. A chance of a +1 hit or a -1 hit. So that didn't apply. So that'll just get discarded. The next one is no recurring event, but this is in blue. So this is going to happen. So what do we have? Abwehr. I'm sure that's probably pronounced differently, but. So it says, place this card next to the board. The head of OKW, which is always me, may use this card to add +1 hit to any 1 subsequent Axis combat die roll. Then roll 1 grey Axis die. If the result is hit, it goes in the new year. With any other result, you discard this. Right, I sort of feel like to take that from that as I should get to put this aside. But then we're going to a 1941 and it's a 1940 combat card, so I'm not sure here. Because the thing is, Right, sorry about that. I was trying to hit the pause key and just couldn't seem to get it, so even heard the ring doorbell and everything, unless of course I cut that out, but I probably won't bother. Okay, so I was just going to look that up, but as I was going to look it up, I thought, let's read this again, Grant, and I think it is a bit clearer here. I'm thinking this should get set aside, but place this card next to the board. The head of OKW may use this card to add +1 hit to any 1 subsequent Axis combat die roll. Then roll 1 grey Axis die. Well, actually, I'm still not sure. What I felt like I should do now is, because we're drawing this and got to resolve it now, it can't sit at the side waiting on me having the chance to roll this. But I don't know. Initially my thinking was to set this aside so I'm going to be able to use it later. And then I thought, well, no, you can't use that because this is 1940. But what I could do is roll 1 grey die, and if I happen to get the hit, then this is the symbol for the new year, isn't it? Is that right? That's the one that goes into the new year pile the next year, I think. Yeah, so it would be added to the next year. I'm not sure how to deal with this then, to be honest. I don't know if I can get to keep this for now. I think I might go and ask a question on that. Right, okay, let me just keep that card aside just now and I'll think about how this is going to work. I'm going to have to go shortly anyway, so hopefully I can get the question out there and then get answered. Let's look at the last combat card that's been left here and see if it's no recurring event, No unique event in blue. If the status France is not Vichy, well, it is Vichy, so roll 1 wisdom die. Yeah, okay, well, that doesn't get resolved anyway. I was just looking at it, I suppose. Right, I'm not sure about this other one. Not sure if this should be in my play area still, just waiting to be doing its thing. That feels wrong because it's 1940, but it might be that's the case. Or if I roll the grey dice now and see where it goes, or if I don't even get the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to set a card aside and go and ask a question. Yeah, okay, and then the next step, so there was no recurring events. So we create a new event deck with event cards for the current year. See, okay. Right, so I've got 10 cards for 1941, strategic event cards. So I'm going to shuffle them all up. Right, so that's them all shuffled. They can go in their pile. There was none that came from the previous year. Now I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, there's 10 combat events as well. So I'm going to shuffle these up. What I'll do is I'll just shuffle them up and out, and then if for some reason that if I get an answer back saying that, well, I still think we're going to have to roll a grey dice. But if we roll the grey dice and it comes up the hat, then my take on that is it'll get shuffled into these as well. But hopefully I can find the answer to that before we start. Right, anything else? Next bit. Talks about landing markers. If there is a landing marker in the current year's box, move it to the landing markers box. There is not. It's 1942. And then move any landing markers in areas on the map to the landing markers box. There's none of them. Select general cards, right? Place all generals for the current year in the available generals pile. If you have more than 30 generals, choose which generals to place. Okay? And that's the word in there is the place bit. Add unselected generals to the pile of generals in and play next year. Okay, let's see how many generals do you have available, Grant? And then how many are going to are wanting to be added. Right, let me count this off camera. I've got 19 available, but I'm forgetting we've got 4 or 5 in command. I've got 5 in command as well, so that takes it to 24, and you must have to use them. You must have to count them as well. I assume, you're saying you assume, I mean that's... Where's the bit that talks about near phase? Here we are. Generals. Yeah, so 19 and 5 is 24. Okay, so how many have I got coming out to play in 1941? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's a lot. 10, 11, 12. Right, there's 12. So I'm going to have to pick. Well, what did I say? 19 and 5 is 24. I'm only going to get half of these. So I'm only going to be able to pick 6 of these. But, and this is where I thought it was something based on the seniority, but according to what Martin said, and according to what it's read, you can, it just says choose which ones you place. So I'm going to pick 6 of these. So let me go and have a look. Right, hi all. I've been on pause for a number of hours there. I did think I was going to have to stop at some point. I don't know if I said I was away or not, but I was anyway. So, but just a continuation of where we were. Part 12, isn't it? So I was picking between the 12 generals that were available for 1941, and I only was able to pick 6 of them. The other 6 I'm going to leave behind, to be honest. I'm starting to look at them and I'm just not sure. Are we going to be defending against Soviet attacks in this turn? I don't think so. In 1941, but you know, it might happen. Anyway, so here's a bunch of guys I did take. Now I took Albert Kesselring. Now you'll see he's rather special. Special Luftwaffe. It says cannot be appointed as head of army group or activated as leading general. So you might think, well, why did you take him then? But if you see his combat effect, if his marker's in the OB Sud box, which is the south one, Roll one additional grey die instead of one white die for rough terrain. So he's going to be defending in rough. But I did look there and I thought, well, this is going to be defending in rough once these get going. And then if they do come into, well, actually, no, that's going to be a landing into southern Italy, isn't it? Well, I don't, but it would be good to get. Now, I also thought, well, am I going to get the chance to put this in? Well, surely if the general comes in 1941, the card that triggers it, and I did sneakily have a little glance at the political directives for 1941, and one of them there does allow you to play to make this available. So I'm going to pick him, and then just a bunch of others. I'm not really sure. Now these are all 5s and 4s seniority wise. Now the red numbers will start coming in once they get questioned. The higher number, he's a 6 for instance, so he cannot be dismissed because you roll a d6 and you've got to get equal to, or you've got to get less than for no effect. If you get equal than when he's questioned, he would become a, what was it again? Is it dissident? And then if you roll that again, then he would be dismissed. But the guys with lower numbers, this guy's got a 3, so he's got to roll lower than a 3 or he's going to be dismissed if he's questioned. We've not seen any questioning as of yet. So I'm going to go for them, and I'm going to put these guys back in the pile, and they'll just go back in the pile, and then next year my take is I can look at the 1942 ones, but also consider some 1941, the 1941 guys that have left. So they're not available to me in this year, so they'll go back. Right, let me put these in the available generals, but in their seniority order. So he's actually a 9. See, that's the thing, but remember, I was thinking, well, it's dangerous if he's a 9, but he can't be appointed as head of army or leading general. So he's only going to be useful if we get the ability to do that, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to take. I didn't study it, so it might be that I don't take that card at all, and then that's been a waste. But right, just chucking these in seniority. That's 5s, and then we've got some 4s here. So yeah, some of the 4s we might not even get to see because they're going to be a bit lower anyway. But there wasn't too much to choose from there. Right, okay. So getting back to things, I did post the question asking about this card on BGG. I got 3 replies. The first 2 were pretty much word for word saying that basically we do get to put this aside, and we can use it in any combat we want. It just says one subsequent Axis combat, so it'll give us adds a +1 hit to any. So my take on that is I can just do that whenever I want just to get an extra hit. Then we resolve this, so we roll a grey dice. If it's a hit, we get to put in the next year's pile, next year's combat events, and it'll get shuffled up and we'll get the chance to use it again. If I don't roll a hat, we discard that and that's it, done. So sort of what I thought, well, I sort of reading it at first thought this might be how it worked, but it just still worried me, I suppose, that it was a 1940 card. But then some cards we've not seen any yet, but some cards do get put into the next year's pile, so they're going to be marked 1940 and they're going to go into the 1941 pile. So I think we'll start seeing some more of them probably in this year. We'll see 1941 ones that get recycled into 1942 and they come back again. And Carlos, the designer, did confirm that both the guys were correct as well. So good. So this stays, and we'll just need to keep that as I remember. So it's any combat. Yeah, and any one subsequent Axis combat die roll. So yeah, it can be when we're defending or attacking or whatever. Add +1 hat. That's really good then. Okay, but you're clearly always going to have that card available. Well, we could have drawn that. Well, yeah, we could have drawn that throughout the year there. as a combat event and had it here and not needed to use it. So it would have just stayed until the next year, and it might even stay till the next year if we don't use it, I suppose. I'm sure we'll find a use for it. So thanks for that, guys, the confirmation there. So we've done our generals. We have 30 generals. We have, so it must be 25 we've got in there, and then we've got 5 in there. So that's as many as we can have. So next step is the planning segment. So yeah, now I'm going to have to select my cards. So up to 5 military cards, up to 4 political cards, and up to 4 production cards. So let me have a little look. I'll probably not go through them all that I'm not picking, but it's 1940. You can look at them yourself. Sorry, it's 1941. However, I mean, there is some. Let's look at. Well, I suppose maybe military we should look at first. Let's go them in that order. I don't know if it matters or not, but we've got, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over from 1940. Now we can only pick 5 of these, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to consider from 1941. So the rest of these aren't going to apply. Well, let's look at the, I mean, we've already looked at the 1941s. Let's have a glance at the 41. Okay, so there's the 6 that are available for 1941. You can see the first 2 here, the invasion of the USSR. This prerequisite, this is Barbarossa 2, this is Barbarossa 1. So, I mean, you think you play this one first and then you do that one. And you can see that the prerequisite for that one is that the Axis controls at least 2 areas in the USSR. So, you're going to have to do this first before you do that. The prerequisite for this is the season is summer. So, there you go. Historically, I must have been right in the fact that, well, I did suggest it may have been spring. I think I said summer first, so that must have been when it all happened. So yeah, I mean, I've not set anything up to make it look like we're interested in doing that. I mean, I want to say that why don't we just maybe let things drag on a little bit? The USSR, this is only up to step 3. I mean, you can't skip by any of these steps because these are recurrent events, so I'm pretty sure they have to happen. So my guess is that by now, coming into 1941, this is where we would be, and we're not skipped any steps or anything like that. I don't think we're lower than we should be, or lower than we could be on this track. I think it's where it's meant to be. So that does sort of suggest that this is going to zoom up now. Whether it's going to hit war in 1941, it might be. Again, if it's following along to the historical way that things happened, it could be, it's coming through the events, isn't it? It's going to come through the events, so it might be a bit later that this triggers war. It might be a bit earlier that it triggers war, but my guess is it's going to trigger war in this year. I could have that wrong. That might not be what happens. It might be that it's just up to you to trigger the war with Barbarossa 1, you know? What are our other options? Now, there's a couple here. Let's skip by these 2 just now. But there's Conquest of Malta and Conquest of Gibraltar. They're the base ones. So they do help with your supply roll, which I've needed more help than I've had. Conquest of Malta says the Axis controls southern Italy and Libya. Well, we're not really hanging on to Libya at all, are we? So it's probably not a good choice, that one. Gibraltar 1 is Axis controls Spain. Well, we've not went down that road either, have we? Was there an invasion of Spain? Yeah, it's in the 1941. So that's their Axis control southern France. I needed to have southern France to be able to do that. Now I do have that. Maybe we go and try to take Spain. Spain is a resource country as well. So yeah, well, just couple of glance at the two that we're missing out here. Invasion of the Middle East, Invasion of Vichy. Invasion of the Middle East as Axis controls Egypt or Turkey. Well, we do have Turkey, and the Middle East is here. Yeah. Okay. And then another one, Invasion of Vichy, the States of France's Vichy. Well, it is activate areas 21 and 26. Oh, okay. Northern Africa, and where's 21? The southern France, but we've got southern France. Oh no, we've not, have we? So these would become activated. Yeah, I think we would then see another Western control marker in there. This become disputed. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's plenty of options. I mean, I've got the Spain one there as well. What else do we have? So that was Invasion of Spain from 1940. Invasion of Great Britain. I'm just going to skip by. I'm going to skip by the Great Britain idea. Invasion of Yugoslavia. It's sitting there, but I don't know. What do they need? The season is not winter. This one, I'm keen on going for Spain, I think. Offensive in Libya or Egypt. After the that's special. After the objectives check, return this card to the military directives card back, even if it is successful. What's the goal? The goal is any Allied controlled sector adjacent to an Axis control disk. It's areas 27 and 28, which is Libya and Egypt, of course. And then the success is air naval control southern front +1. Nah. I don't know. I think I'll skip by that. I'm not sure Yugoslavia. I feel like I want to take this one. The Spain one. I mean, should we take Barbarossa just in case? I mean, we do have to get it going at some point. Invasion of the Middle East. Yeah, I quite like that one as well. There's no resource in that country, or area. Right, okay. What does that special say? In the current season, the Met sector is planes. In the current season? So the season that you play this. Okay. Oh, that's bad for us. Well, it's not. It's kind of irrelevant. We don't benefit from being in the fortress. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, pick 5 of them, Grant. Okay, so I went for Invasion of Yugoslavia, Invasion of Vichy, Invasion of the Middle East, Invasion of Spain, and Invasion of USSR, so Barbarossa 1. So that's going to be my 5. What was 5 on it? Yeah, that's going to be my 5 military directives for 1941. Right, so next I want to select 4 political directives. Right, so here are the new 1941 political directives. There's only 4 of them, and we've still got 6 1941s that we could be potentially looking at, but we've seen them already. So there's activation of Obsud, the south one, which we've got the general for that. And yeah, like I said, I did have a little glance at that. Whether that was cheeky or not, I don't know. I think these are open information anyway. I mean, yeah, I don't know. The prerequisite is the status of Italy as intervention or occupation. Well, it's intervention, so that works. And it's just we're going to place a vacancy marker in that Obsud, and we've got a general that we can use to put in that. So seems to be how to do it. Oh, we're getting above unrest. Oh, it's unrest -1. Well, that's good as well. Okay, and it's only 1 production cost, so that's really good. Right, the next one, Commissar Order. Well, the USSR is at war as a prerequisite. Well, that's not, and we're sort of trying to avoid that, I think. You can see that it's going to increase fanaticism by +1, which helps in the end game. Nearer the end of the game, there's the Black Orchestra thing where there's a coup to try and assassinate Hitler, and obviously that happens, we lose the game as well. Keeping your fanaticism up high is going to help with that. The higher that is, the better. That's the general feeling I've got of how that works. Anyway, USSR is at war. Right, I'm not really wanting that. Bribing generals, and these 3 are all just the cost of 1. Bribing generals, unrest -1. After playing this card, return it to the political directives deck. So, okay, so this one keeps becoming available every year. And reduces unrest by 1. So it's okay. I can see, I'm definitely taking this, I think. I don't think I'm taking this. I'm not sure about that yet. This one costs 2. Unrestricted submarine warfare. Fanaticism +1. Strategic warfare +1. US commitment +1. So that brings the US closer into the war by 1, but increases our strategic warfare and fanaticism. So quite nice. Might take that, and then we can just see, because it is 2 production cost. So out of the 4, I definitely feel like I want this. Well, it seems sensible to take that when we took the general. I'm zoomed right out here. So here's a quick glance again at the 1941. So diplomacy, Yugoslavia. Well, we've took the card to invade Yugoslavia, but I think the die rolls for these were a 6, weren't they? +1. That wouldn't work. That's a -1, and that's a -1. So it is a 6 for that still. And I want to say this one's also a 6. And then we're talking about... No, yeah, we're talking about invading Spain as well, which would knock that one out as well. So yeah, I think these are a 6, both of them. Diplomacy in Greece, well, I don't think that's any good anymore. We took Greece. So... Right, yeah, I'm assuming I can't play that, can I? If I've invaded Greece... I think actually somebody was asking this question recently. Hang on a second, just have a look at the rules for that. Yeah, so the rules for diplomacy cards on page 13, 3.3.1, diplomacy cards. Diplomacy cards are used to attempt to activate neutral countries as Axis satellites. Well, yeah, so you can attempt to... This is not a neutral country. You can't make this a satellite. So that card's useless. And in fact, hold on, is the Vichy one not the same then? Diplomacy Vichy. Status of France is Vichy. Right, hang on. I don't know, Vichy have special rules though, don't they? 4.7.1b and then 8.2. 4.7.1b. France surrenders. We've done all that. What did this say? 8.1 was that? 8.2, France. When the strategic event... Yeah, this is a wee bit... I'm not sure about that. Not sure about... I know we can't do diplomacy in Greece, because it's not neutral, but diplomacy in Vichy... Yeah, because Vichy is neutral still. Isn't it? These are the 2 areas of Vichy. So yeah, and we're talking about, we've got the military directive to go in and try and take them by force, and that turns them, that turns these into disputed, and we're going to fight it out. But we could go the diplomatic route still, I think. Okay, so what other cards? Well, like I say, the Yugoslavia one. Did I count that up? Is that a 6 as well? We can't do Greece. Right, we've got Africa core. Libya is disputed. It is. What does that do? Flip the status of Italy marker to its intervention side. Well, it's already on its intervention side, so that's not any good either. But to be honest, I don't know if I could just remove these cards from the game, but I better not, just in case. And then we've got a diplomacy for Spain. Let's see, this is needing a 6. Status of France is Vichy, that's a +1. Great Britain is occupied, no. Vichy is an Axis satellite, no. So we get a +1 to that, so we'd only need the 5 to go diplomatically against Spain. And then diplomacy Turkey, we've taken Turkey as well, so that's not any good either. So how many cards? I need 4, so I might take... I've got... It seems a bit daft, I suppose, to take military directives for Vichy, Yugoslavia and Spain, and then take diplomacy cards for them as well, doesn't it? But I need 4 cards, so... And I might change my mind somewhere. Maybe that would have opened up other options, maybe going for Malta or Gibraltar, maybe. Nah. That's, again, playing the game the second time is going to maybe open these thoughts up to you. Right, I don't want to take that, so I can maybe take that or that. I might take that. Getting my strategic warfare up by +1 at some point might be nice, even though it's a production cost of 2. So I think I'm going to take these 2. And, what was the Africa core one? Libya's just, no, that doesn't do anything either. Well, I suppose playing this every year is probably a good idea. I'm pretty sure one of the video playthroughs I watched played this every time. That's only 1 cost, reduces unrest. So okay, I'll take that as well. Oh, so I suppose my other options between these 3. And I should really be studying the military directives for these 3, deciding which one I feel is maybe a bit better option to go this way. I don't know. Maybe diplomacy Spain. Well, that needs a 5. What did we say? That's going to need a 6. And that's going to need a 6, I think. So aren't we better taking the one that requires a 5? Yeah, let's go with diplomacy Spain, and we can make our mind up later on if we're going to... So we took 2 of the 1941... No, we took 3 of the 1941 cards. And a 1940 card. So that's going to be that for our political directives. 4 of them. And... yeah, actually looking at that, diplomacy Spain is 3. I bet that's relevant. What were the other ones? I bet they weren't 3. What was that? Yugoslavia is a 2, and Vichy is a 2. Just stick with it, Grant. Stick with it. Stick with what you got. Right, we'll go with that. Okay, so production directives, we need 4 of them as well. So let me have a look what we've got. Well, we're going to be able to get almost all of these. Well, there's 3 new ones from 41. And I might as well lay the 2 that we've already had a look at before for 40. So, the new ones. Project Assault Guns. So that's one of the ones that you've got to develop. The prerequisite is there is a Panzer Army in the force pool. Ooh, okay. Well, there is at the moment. I need to watch that though. Now, okay, I guess I'm just wondering, once you play this card, you put the project marker on the project, what is it? Project track. Yeah. And is that the only time you need the Panzer Army in the force pool? I would assume so, because I don't think you need to play the card again, do you? You just set up the development at 2. You've got to roll that turn to get a 2 plot. Oh no, I think you do need to play the card again, Grant. Yeah, you are going to need to play that again next year, aren't you? How? Right, look at the rules for that. For projects. Give me a sec. Yeah, so page 12, 3.2.1, project cards. After playing a project card, including the first time, the head of production rolls 1d6. And then if you fail, you get that that -1 marker on it and make it easier next turn. If you don't fail, then you just move it forward. If it's equal to or higher, move its marker 1 box to the right. If it's moved to the completed box, project is completed, discard its card. Hang on, I'm jumping by bits here. If the die roll fails or the project is not completed after a successful die roll, the project card is available for play on later turns of the year. The head of production may play it to attempt to advance. Right, okay. I guess I was looking for the wee recycle icon up here, up top, to say that it goes back again. I was sort of thinking, I felt like it did go back, but it tells you in the rules that if it fails, if the die roll fails, or the project is not completed, which it needs 2 successes, so it's not going to be completed on the first turn, even if we succeed with the die roll, because we need to develop it twice. So we are going to have to play this card twice, and this card will go back and be available for next again year. And at the time, again, the prerequisites all have to be met. Okay, that's, I think, what I was wondering about. Okay, so it's a good one, that, though, because the grey sort of anti-air guns result grants 2 hits if the Axis faction is a defender. Remove 1 Panzer Army from the force pool. Right, I didn't... Okay. I didn't notice that. I didn't know that happened. Again, the two playthroughs I've watched have started in 1942. These have already been completed, these. So, okay. We've got a full I say a full complement. There's actually 1 Panzer Army left in the game box here, still in the box, so we must be able to get that one. But we've got, I want to say 4, have we? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've got 3 on the map, and we've got 1 in the force pool. So that's why that's a you're going to have to remove. You're going to have to do that. No, you're not going to have to do it twice, Grant. You're only going to have to remove it if it's successful. When you remove that card, that's the effect that will happen. Okay. That's a bit of a nasty bit. But having 2 hits with these on defence later in the game is going to be something you really want, isn't it? Project Tiger and Panther, this costs 2 as well. The USSR is at war. Well, we're sort of trying to avoid that, it seems. Development 2 needs a 3+ to advance. Cancel the effect of the combat event card New Tanks. Right, well, I'm guessing that's something that you'd like to not have happen. I'm not quite sure what it does. Well, no, I'm not sure what it does. And without having a look at the combat events for 1941, well, you know what? We're going to see it. Maybe just try and remember that, because I don't think I'm going to take this. Well, you get to take 4, though. And you might start the war with USSR, Grant. Right. Next one, Forced Labour. Only costs 1. Unrest -1. Move 1 replacement marker 1 box to the right. Ooh, that's really good. After playing this card, add it to the production directives deck. So again, that can keep coming back. That's strong. -1 unrest, and you move one of your replacement markers one box to the right, that's your either Wehrmacht, Luftwaffe, or strategic replacement marker. I want to see, can we not get that moving up? We're not able to, are we? We've not. The Luftwaffe one's still restricted to 2. I was kind of expecting a card that would maybe allow us to take that off, but it's not here, is it? And these are the last 2 that were from 1940. The card submarine bases have been played. Well, it has. It's got a cost of 2, development at 3, so it's going to take a bit of time to do it, and you need a 4+, and that's to remove the 4th box. Still worth a bash, I suppose. And then this final one, Project Nuclear Power, costs 2, development 5, advanced 5+, head of OKW and head of production. Right, okay, that does nothing. However, yeah, that's the one the guy was saying he wish he hadn't started it because it doesn't make sense, because it doesn't do nothing. I want to say that there's surely got to be an event somewhere that must affect if you've got this project completed or not. I mean, it might not be. If it is, though, it's only a multiplayer, or hang on, no, it could be a co-op, or yeah, co-op, or what's the other one when you're against each other? The name's away. You know what I mean, anyway. Non-solo. Reading that card, for a solo game, it does nothing. But I would like to think there's cards that... Well, does that not make your mind up then, Grant? You're not playing... You're not going to use this. When we eventually see an event that comes up and we've not got this done, surely it's got to be an end game. It's got to be an end game event. Might be bad, though. Right, I'm not going to take that, and I'm going to take the other 4. Right? That seems to be pretty a reasonably easy choice there, I think. So that's what we're going for. Right, that's that. Now I can see I'm at 1 hour and 7 minutes because I had just paused the camera. So I'm probably going to just. Well, I think that's us. That's us done in the New Year phase, isn't it? I think. Yeah, it is. Well, that's a good time to stop then. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of gameplay tonight. I'm definitely going to do another part. I've got some time, free time, so it should be able to. Well, I might get interrupted here and there, but I'm definitely going to get another part in, and even a little more if I can. So New Year phase is done, so we're now going to move that into the administrative phase of winter of 1941, and that's where that is, and we're going to come back to the bombing in Germany. We're not finished here. Did I do the combat events and strategic events? Oh no, I did. Yeah, they're all shuffled up. Yeah, and the combat deck, yeah, I remember sort of feeling unsure about that. That just stays. That doesn't get shuffled up. The only time that gets shuffled is when you run out of cards and you just keep cycling through them. I did shuffle these up. These are the New Year ones, and I thought this might have been getting shuffled in. It's a combat one, isn't it? That this might have been getting shuffled in, but that's been clarified now from me that no, that sits here, and we're going to get one hit out of it when we choose. So that'll be nice. Right, I'm only going to stop the video here, and I'm going to come straight back. Yeah, I'm not even going to copy it across because my battery's full. I had it charging up, and I'm going to come straight back to, well, the next season. Okay, I'll be back soon. Cheers.